Hey everybody, we're talking the election results and the Mannequin Challenge and more on Black Hollywood Lives this week.
You are tuned in to Black Hollywood Live this week.
Hey. I love you.
I'm like if you made your grandma do a
I'm
challenge.
supposed to still be dancing. Why not
Did
everyone
you see
dancing?
the one with the cat? That cat was like...
All right, what's up everybody? Welcome to Black Hollywood Lives this week. I'm your host, Derrial Christon. As you would see, we were doing a little mannequin thing going on, and then I thought we were going to keep dancing, but apparently not.
Rachel broke.
Rachel broke character. The actress broke character.
It's because I'm still in mourning, you guys. I'm still processing
We're
my
processing a lot
emotions.
today. Well, Rachel True's joining us in her morning. DJ Jesse J.
What's up?
And Courtney Stewart.
Hey y'all.
We got a lot of things to talk about today. We're going to be talking about that election, but we're not going to overkill it because I think we all feel the same way right now.
Not all of us apparently.
Well, yeah, apparently not all of us. You're right about that. But yeah, we're going to be talking about a lot of things. Obama Day, Mannequin Challenge, Prince Harry's new boo, and the election results. So we'll go ahead and kick this party off today.
Let's start it positive. Okay, so yesterday, obviously the polls were, everyone's running to the polls, but April Rain on Twitter, who started the hashtag #OscarsSoWhite, decided instead of everyone getting riled up, let's celebrate something. So she wanted to celebrate Obama Day. So Twitter took to this hashtag, and basically everyone was tweeting out their favorite moments throughout the terms, pictures. There was, a couple. The one really iconic one of him, fist bumping the janitor. Just moments and videos of just respecting President Obama, Michelle, and the First Family. Obama also made a speech and came out to say, we are Americans first. Don't be cynical. He wants to make sure that the transition between him and Trump is seamless, and do everything in his power to make sure that he can help the next president. He also said that everyone is sad when their team loses, but we must remember that we are all on the same team. So I just thought that the hashtag was really good.
Are we?
We're supposed to be on the same
I got to
team.
keep my comments to myself till later, sorry.
But did you guys see the hashtag Obama Day at all?
I did because it actually brought back, it showed one of the pictures that I love, which actually I originally got really emotional about, was the little black boy who was touched Obama's hair, and that picture popped up again. I was like, man, I'm gonna miss that dude being in office.
Yeah.
I really am.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a great thing to focus on something positive like that.
And amazing that our children and generations were able to experience that and witness that. And, whatever we got to go through in the next 4 years, at least we have that in our pocket to push us forward. And
I know. But here's the thing.
I feel like it's going to be like a game.
I know. But here's the
Kraken.
As positive as that was, then my mind went to I'm not gonna say the dark place, but I was thinking oh, this is so great. Kids got their first president. Some of the kids in life, just their first president was Obama. Then I was like, oh, but then some kids' first president is gonna be Trump.
Yeah.
Well,
you win and you lose. So also on Twitter, this is, my conspiracy brain. So we started with the Mannequin Challenge because it swept the internet by storm the day before elections. Yeah. And, I thought it was all fun and games, and I was looking at it, and I participated in it. And then I was thinking to myself, I didn't start thinking about it until I saw Hillary, Beyonce, these bigger celebrities doing it.
Yeah.
And it made me think to myself, the day before an election, and this is what we want trending, and it made me start thinking, is this something to keep children and people busy? And, because we are in this world of technology where, hey, the ice bucket challenge, we all need to be a part of it, instead of focusing on the important issues. The Mannequin Challenge was huge. It was, literally on my timeline, like how the election's on my timeline today.
Right.
What do you guys think? Do we think, because part of me was thinking, okay, why don't we start important hashtags like, maybe a week or two ago, start something like the third party hashtag challenge, where everybody goes and votes for a third party. Or, like we never take these challenges and make them for anything positive or productive.
Well, maybe the Mannequin Challenge was just sort of a
way to
relieve the stress of what the last few weeks of the election have been.
And the Ice Bucket Challenge actually did raise a lot of money
for
them, despite, I understand it was everywhere, ubiquitous, but it did raise money for them. But I just like...
And there's been some great ones with cancer, too, that I've seen, that have been really good. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you.
No, I just I gotta say it. I can't not say anything about what we just went through. And again, I think during tough times, we're always galvanized. And so this is the first time since I think 1928 that the House and the Senate and the President are all going to be super conservative. So that's a big shift. There's no one really around that we can talk to, even our grandparents who actually experienced what that was like. So this is completely new territory. Quite often when things are challenging like this, artists rise to the cause and movements happen. So I think there's a lot, everybody should keep on their point and keep on their message despite what's happened. But the fact that we're sitting here on Black Hollywood Live and we're not saying, because my truth is I feel like what happened was a very big backlash towards white people and white women. Do you just hate each other so much that you would rather have a black male president in than actually elect a white lady president? It's crazy to me that we were able to get Obama, thank God, in there. But at this point, the votes for women who voted for Trump, and I, as a woman, to vote for a man who said grab him by the pussy and speaks that way, and you're raising daughters probably, is really confusing to me, so I still gotta process my feelings on that one. It's challenging at best.
So that it's kind of interesting for you to say this. So for you to feel because we saw Obama sweeped, and so to see this situation, so you really think it fully comes down to a woman, or if it was a different woman?
I think a little partially it's a woman thing. I mean, listen, it's just my opinion. It doesn't really mean anything. But ultimately, Trump did much better than Mitt Romney did in those states. Partially that's because Trump did appeal to, I'm not going to say the lowest common denominator, because there's people of all walks of life he appealed to. But Mitt Romney was very elitist and never really tried to gauge that. Trump is super elitist, but spoke a different tune, and people believed him. And I think the best thing I can say about that is super smart people knew that what Trump was saying, they didn't take him literally. And the difference is his fan base takes him literally. They think he's really going to build a wall and do all these things. So time will tell, and I think it'll be super interesting. I was saying to Jesse, too, because I think there's a lot of young, especially gay men out there who don't know the struggles that older gay men went through to give them the rights they have, because your marriage equality rights could go out the window right now. Everybody's like, oh, we get to smoke weed in California. That could change, too.
That's what I've heard a lot of people saying.
I know, and listen, I love weed, but that right could easily be taken away once there's a new government in place. They can clamp down on stuff. So,
and didn't Trump say that he wants to bring enforcements and FBI in certain places and shut a lot of the weed dispensaries down?
And by certain places, we know he's going to target any ethnic-owned dispensaries. So, it's a little hard for me today because I've run into a lot of super cool people I know who are Caucasian, and they're like, I'm just going to wait and see, and then I'll worry about it. And the thing is, we don't have that luxury at this table, because everyone here is a minority in some respect. So I don't have the luxury of waiting, because it's already been happening for years now. And so, I'm a little worried about what's going to happen, and for the children, Well,
what I also realized, too, is the importance of this network, because I think I was talking to you about it earlier. Black Hollywood Live, we definitely have to be the voice to help support and get people through this time, because this is changing the game for us.
Courtney, what are you? She's been so she's like, I
feel like you're about to cry.
Open that bottle.
No,
let it
because
out.
there's nothing really to let out, because I expected it. I'm not, like I said, I was saying earlier. Essentially
we're skipping, but
we're just going to talk about the elections. We might come back to the other
we
story.
can get back to the topics, but honestly, I feel like it would be remiss not to talk about it.
We were definitely going to talk about it, so we'll go. We already started, so we might as well finish it up.
We'll push it up a little bit.
But I'm saying that once he won the primaries, I was fairly certain that he would win the overall election, because I'm aware of how strongly Hillary is hated. I understand, even though I don't appreciate it, that there is a segment of our country that did not see enough change during Obama's administration, in terms of we did not tackle Wall Street the way that it should have. People that were losing their houses and lost all of their 401ks, never saw anybody punished for it. They don't necessarily blame the people that helped build that sort of situation. They blame Obama, because the economic recovery that happened, obviously, we're not necessarily in the depression we were in 2008, but most of those people are still struggling and never saw anybody held responsible for it. So I think it's a combination of those situations with the economy, and of course there's some racial and social changes that have happened over the last few years, obviously, where it comes to gay marriage and abortion rights and things like that, that people are just not comfortable with, because it's all sort of come in this like 8-year period. It was like, we got a black man. Wasn't that enough for you guys? Like, we voted for him because we believed in him, but then he didn't really do very much for us, and all of this other stuff happened that we're not cool or comfortable with yet. So I agree when Van Jones on CNN talked about how, like, we've talked about everything, but this is a white lash. Like, I agree. Like, I do think, like, the regular white dude that's used to being on top and used to things going his way has gotten hurt in these last 8 years and is not accustomed to that, and therefore, you know, he's hitting back, or he and he being general, you know, whatever.
I think it is a little like Custer's last stand in terms of that, because by 2050, the country will be primarily, I mean, everybody will be kind of mixedy looking brownie, something, you know, or dark brown, light brown, some kind of shade.
I mean, we say that, sure, but you don't know what they're going to do in the next 8 years to make that not the case.
No,
what's also interesting, though, but even during the race, they were saying that Hispanics were going to be, as you were watching it, they were saying, you know, the Hispanic vote will probably be something that pushes, obviously, more towards Hillary, will push her to the win. So I honestly thought that would realistically happen. I'm saying, that's what I was about to say. Like, literally, yesterday, I saw so many Hispanics wearing Trump hats and supporting Trump, and I was just really taken aback and surprised. I was like, do you not remember what he just said?
Well,
like,
I mean, there's a whole segment of the Latin population that sort of agrees with this whole, like, all these people that came illegally, like, we came legally, we did the work, we should do it. And they tend to vote conservative often. So it's not a surprise that they went for Trump, and their numbers obviously show that in, I think it's like South Florida, where Cuban Americans tend to be more Republican than, you know, maybe California Latin Americans. I don't know. But regardless, like, he's here, guys. He's like,
and I'm sorry I jumped into the topic early. I just couldn't not say anything about it. But we can move on to our other topics. But I wanted to just throw in that David Dukes, you know, who had a senator bid, congressman, he failed. But he also, you know, endorsed this Donald Trump thing and was like, he's just as part of our mission. He's doing great work for us. And the KKK has endorsed Trump. So I'd say just be aware. I'm not saying that Trump, by the way. I can't accuse that man of being a part of that organization, although there is proof his father was. In newspaper articles that he was arrested at a KKK rally. So I'm not saying that, but I would just say we have to be diligent and vigilant these days, because I think that there is a small percentage of angry white people out there who may feel it's open season.
And honestly, that's just what I am just so beyond scared of in the next few weeks, is what is about to really happen racially here in America. With Obama, you know, only having a couple months left, and that transition, that's what scares me. That's really good.
Well, you know, it's interesting. There's also been today, I don't know if you guys saw on the news, but there's been rioting. But there's shootings here yesterday at the polls, and then there's been rioting today. But ironically, the rioting has been more Hillary's followers. So people are saying, you know, it's like a catch-22, because I'm like, oh man, I get why people are upset. But on the flip side, that's what they want. Don't riot. They want that. It's just adding ammunition to the Trump supporters. You know.
Also, I want to throw in that the Democratic Party itself imploded itself. I mean, it really did. Like, you didn't really, you did give Hillary information that you didn't give Bernie. You did do things to shift it in her favor, and that's all. I mean, I think it's all blown up in your face now. If you just let things play out the way they coulda, shoulda, woulda, who knows? But we'll never know that. And so I think there's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of work to be done all over the place.
My biggest thing was just having to watch Obama do a speech afterwards. Just especially after watching that documentary too. It just was.
You're talking about The Choice?
Yeah. It was like nauseating.
Yeah.
No, nauseating was watching the victory speech.
Well, I didn't. Honestly, I didn't.
No, I watched the victory speech of Trump. I watched the concession speech from Hillary.
I heard his speech was good.
It was good. I mean, obviously, like, it sucks, but it was a good speech, and she, you know, said positive things. And his speech wasn't like as grossly sort of braggery
wasn't.
as I thought it would be.
He did thank people like it was like a Academy Award speech,
but he definitely, I mean, he, opened and said that, we are one America and that whole, like, I'm the person for everyone or whatever. So when I go back to being positive again, even though I tried to be positive and y'all still fucked me over, I went back to being positive that maybe by some miracle, he's actually going to be great at this and will surprise us with what he is able to do.
Optimism.
And the choices that
we don't
he
have
makes.
a choice whether we have
Because he is an out-of-box situation,
Courtney,
whether we like it or not.
Did you see Giuliani's tweet?
I don't deal with Giuliani at all.
No,
because
but
I
here's
hate
the thing,
him.
right? You do hate him, but he's about to be your attorney
Well, yeah, he's
general.
about to
He's
be
about to
somebody,
do
isn't he?
something.
Yeah.
But his tweet last night was so offensive, and this is why, like, I don't have the luxury that some of
What
my
did he exactly
white
say?
friends have. The tweet said, "We cannot let blacks and Hispanics decide this race. They
Wait,
can't
no,
be
he
the
didn't.
swear
Yeah,
to God,
he
I quote tweeted it. I retweeted it.
Yep.
We cannot let blacks and Hispanics decide this race. They can't be the only ones. Everybody else, get out there and vote." It was so racist.
So let's twist it in hopes of miracles. Again, I'm just trying to be like some kind of light, because if I'm the real darkness that exists inside of me, like, that ain't helping nobody. So if we twist it just a little bit, maybe it wasn't necessarily about us, but it was really.
It wasn't just about us. It was about him. It was about gay men.
And
it was
I'm
about
saying about
anybody.
the other that we are considered at this point, whoever that is,
Very
and
positive of you.
him sort of being just a champion for wanting his voice and the people like him heard also, not just them and just us, but like also. Maybe he meant also, not.
I guess I admire what you're
that's
trying to
it,
do
yeah.
here.
Yeah, that's the most positive spin that you can get. You working real hard for that positive
Literally,
comment.
we have 4 years. We are in this for 4 years, and technically we're in this for a good 25 years, because he's about to appoint at least, 2 Supreme Court justices?
it's
At least
all
2
of it.
Supreme Court justices, at a bare minimum.
Right.
2 years of this full Republican Congress and the full Republican White House, and in 2 years you can do a whole lot of damage
Yeah.
going forward. So we have to hope the best.
But I'm just like, it's just so baffling to me, because I'm like, how do we go from Obama to this? Like, how, it's like,
I think this
we're
is the
we're literally
backlash to
going,
Obama. It's a
we're literally
backlash.
going 50 years behind.
Yeah,
You know what I
Make
mean?
America Great is code for Make America White Again. And great white people, most people are Make America was great in the 50s. We couldn't even sit at a goddamn lunch counter with you in the 50s.
Right.
It wasn't great.
And just a shout out, I wanted to remember her name. There was a black lady on CNN.
Yes, she was with Van,
she was with Van Jones
and
like
the
a few
blonde
hours
chick,
ago.
the blonde woman who I
But
can't
this
remember her
woman
name.
said on the air, because they were talking about Van Jones' comment about the white lash and whatever, and she basically was saying, like, when he said "Make America Great Again," he didn't specifically say like which time period, and you people are
Right.
thinking about slavery
She
and
was
stuff.
so good.
I mean, more black people owned homes in the 30s than they own now. I'm like, okay, yeah, boo, because there's an institutional setup that made sure that they lost those homes
Right.
by the 50s and turned around and lost them again in the 80s and turned around and lost them again in the early 2000s. Like, the fact that you even brought that out your mouth as a argument for you saying that he isn't saying it's white America when white America was great again is you're out of your mind. So anyway, I just wanted to call her out. I don't know what her name is. I forgot.
I'm trying to look it up right now. actually.
But I was so upset because she was like, I never picked a time period, or he never picked a time period. You guys are assuming it's like slavery time and all that. As if since slavery, everything has been so amazing
I
for black and
know.
brown people in this country. So I'm just, whatever, lady. Anywho.
And the other thing is, like, let's not forget our Muslim brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? I really feel, my timeline is filled with people going, my mom is the most religious person in my family and told me not to wear my hijab today.
Yeah, a lot of kids were told not to wear
That
their
is
hijabs
frightening.
today.
And then also, let's face it, I mean, there were Japanese people in internment camps during World War II. Like, I'm
ain't
curious
far
if in
from
like
it,
2
y'all.
years there's going to be some Muslim camps somewhere. I really am.
Not even just Muslim camps.
Okay,
Honestly,
not just Muslim camps. You're right.
That's what scares me is I'm looking at the microchipping and the, you know what I mean? Like, everything wants to be segregated now, and it's like, where are we really moving towards?
But in a certain way, and I'm curious what you think about. I'm sorry, I did not mean to
No, go
interrupt you,
ahead.
but I did, like I always do, and I'm trying to get better at that shit.
It's okay. You working on it.
No, I'm really trying. I'm sorry.
And I ain't getting
Oh, boy.
microchipped, so I'm gonna be at a camp somewhere.
You're going to be at a camp.
I ain't getting no microchip inside. I don't have a tattoo. I'm not gonna let them put something inside me that's electronical.
You're fun. Electronical.
Electronical. I love you said electronical.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm still trying to find her name, but it's okay. We'll get it.
It's all good.
You know what? I love what Van Jones did say. He said, "How are people going to explain to their children that Trump is president?" You know, and I thought that was really deep. You know what I mean? It's like it goes back to my point of saying, you know, we could understand how kids were going to have Obama as their first president, but to have Trump as your first president, like that really just it trips me out. Like,
I understand.
Let's take it Courtney's
You can be positive. Like there is.
You can do anything in this country.
You can do anything, and that is supposed to be the basis of what we believe the president is supposed to be. It can be any man or woman or man technically, because we ain't proved it could be a woman yet. Sure. But any man that can come up through the rank and make his way can become president.
Like,
he doesn't have to be a career politician.
The Haitian president who was a pop star, and then he became the oh my gosh. And he changed Haiti around.
All I can think of is Will.i.am, and
I was like, White Love? I know.
Right,
I know White Love was gonna try.
Yeah, it was, and he went against him.
Yeah, he went against the other guy.
Yeah.
Well, but you know, Haiti on a struggle bus, so I don't think that's a good comparison.
Yeah. I mean,
that being said, Trump might have some interesting shit to say about how to change some stuff.
I hope so.
So
that's all we can hope on.
nothing else, we can hope. You know, what's her name? Kamala Harris won for the Senate out here. So we have a brown lady going to the Senate. It's going to be great. There are still things that we all can do and participate in, and you can still write your representatives, whether they are Republican or Democrat or whatever. You can still make your voice heard throughout the year, not wait till it's election time to make any sort of mark in the government. Like, we have to be active all the time, not just when it's time to vote.
And not just on Twitter. Like, people, like, my thing is this, cool, if everyone wants to be upset with it, I understand you have to have a certain amount of time to grieve. But then it's not getting back to the different hashtags and all this stuff. Then it's, okay, really, next week, it's about time that we actually sit down, have conversations with our communities, and figure out, okay, how as a community can we reach this government? How can we really let the government know what we really feel, instead of the electorals and all that kind of stuff? Like, that's my problem, is that I see too many people on my timeline talking,
right,
and they don't do anything with their lives. They don't create a platform. They don't use the platform that they have. I see 34,000 followers on your thing, but you aren't out here doing anything.
Kind of messages.
So to me, I think that I hope that's what this does. I hope this really wakes people up in the sense of like, okay, y'all can stay asleep, or you need to wake the fuck up.
Well, the interesting thing is that I've been listening to a lot of like AM radio today for some reason, but they were talking about how this has sparked conversations with people. Like, everybody is really having a conversation now, but then I'm like, yeah, but if those people are having a conversation, why is he in office? You know what I mean? Like,
because half of the country is having a different conversation.
Yeah.
And we have to embrace that exists, and that they have, yes, there is definitely some racism up in there, but there's another really strong element that has everything to do with how effed up our country has been in terms of dealing with government, who gets to be in government, and what government is actually doing for us. Because there are people that were terribly destroyed by the last economic downturn, and there has not been a break from it since it happened, and nobody was punished for it. I mean, nobody. Mm-hmm. We've talked about it here. Nobody was punished for it. So say what we like. Yes, there's some horrible ish going on. There's definitely some, bigotry. There's some, I don't like gay people and I'm scared if they get married. We got Caitlyn running around in the sports and stuff now. So some people are like, dang, even our sports ain't safe. So I understand that the hatred that exists for sure. But I also understand that there are groups and groups of people that it is a privilege that they have, that they can sit and be like, I don't really care about the hatred part. I'm more concerned about this, because they can be that self-absorbed because they don't have to experience the hatred. So on that end, it sucks. But at the same time, what they are feeling about their situation is still legit and still real. And that's where the growth of Trump came from. And if we don't respect that, like we should have months and a year and a half ago.
That's true. Yeah, I'm with you.
Then we're going to be in a worse place than we are now, 4 years from now.
Yeah.
Oh, right, Courtney, that positive attitude.
Yeah, I'm liking your positivity because I need it after last night.
Otherwise, I would kill myself. No lie, I would jump off a bridge. I'm watching this shit. I wanted to, my stomach was sick last night. I was watching this. My Pakistani friend is texting me oh my God, I'm crying. Do people really hate us that much? And I was like, babe, I'm sorry, I don't hate you. I love you. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. And I don't know about how you guys felt, but when I saw Omarosa standing behind her, I know that Omarosa works with him, but it just I wanted to go through the TV. just disgusted me so much when I saw her standing behind him and clapping and smiling.
I felt like I was watching an apprentice. Like I felt like I was watching a reality TV show.
Or when he called Ben Carson, like, brother, I'm so glad we worked together.
Yeah, we worked together.
And
I
he's
was like,
you're going to be my Surgeon General.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah.
It's gross. Like, it's disgusting.
What do you think Omarosa was promised in this equation? Because she's just, I mean, I know she was a lawyer. She's a smart woman, but she has no qualifications really for any government
Valerie
job.
Jarrett's job?
I don't know.
Let's look up. While you talk, I'll look it up.
It's on the tip of my tongue. I feel like she wants Valerie Jarrett's
Like a
job.
publicity job or something
It's
like
like
that?
what is she, like the chief of blah, blah. She's like one of Obama's direct advisors, but she's not the chief of staff. She's...
God, well, okay, so
Senior advisor.
She'll get a job, I'm sure.
I feel like that, like, she sees herself as like the Valerie Jarrett of Trump's
Public
organization.
engagement,
nobody's listening to her
intergovernmental
like that.
affairs.
Hey, look, I'm just, y'all asked me a question.
I know. Listen,
Where
I'm
she
not
wanna
jumping on
be.
you.
I'm
I know,
just
I know.
saying.
Listen, I'm just so annoyed. I was just so annoyed with her last night that I just. Sorry, I took that out on you. That
Hey,
wasn't.
actually, I'm less annoyed with her than all them people that was secretly voting for Trump and didn't want to act
didn't
like
wanna
they were
act like they
supporting
did
him.
it.
She
Yeah.
stood up and said, "Yep, I support him. I'm right on his coattails, and when he get his job, I'm gonna be right there next to him."
I mean, I guess you gotta respect somebody for that. Yeah.
Obama, what's his name? Trump got 8% of the African American votes. So some of y'all out there was playing and hiding because y'all was acting like y'all weren't gonna vote for him, and y'all did.
Right, and I know some of them posting Hillary Clinton stuff, and you wasn't voting for no Hillary Clinton.
And it's fine. Like, if you don't want to
It's your
share who you
prerogative.
voted for, that's your prerogative.
Right.
But don't front.
Just own it.
Own it. Own it.
Maybe we should move on from the
Listen,
election.
you said JetBlue was offering
Is the
tickets
horse
last
dead?
week. We need to
No,
go.
I said no. That's what I also said. Ain't none of y'all going nowhere. Because everybody that's here that has something to say about it needs to still be here and
That's
really
true.
have something to say about it going forward.
That's true.
Well, we're going to have a lot to say on Black Hollywood Live.
Well, I also have a lot to say about this. Switching total gears,
That's Trump calling Rachel. That's Trump calling Rachel right now.
Rachel actually voted for Trump, guys.
That's why she got quiet.
She got one of those
she's
letters
hiding
that says,
ballads in her hair.
President-elect Trump. Dear Rachel, thank you so much
all
for
around.
Well, that's fine. But maybe you want to de-stress yourself, and
I
we
need some
still do have
de-stress.
some sports going on because they are not ruined by Caitlyn Jenner. So maybe you like to watch football.
By the way, I wasn't saying that Caitlyn Jenner ruined sports. I was in the voice of those
of
people.
Donald Trump.
Right, absolutely.
All right, but no. So DraftKings, we talk about it every week. It's you guys can play fantasy football. It's a super cool website in which, unfortunately, like other football drafts, you have to play the whole season.
Yeah,
this
other
one, a
fantasy
new
football.
season starts every single week, so there's no real long-term commitment. You can win a whole bunch of money. You can try the 50-50 contest, which means if you're in one of the percentages, you're gonna win. It's only
You have a high percentage of winning. Yeah.
Yes.
it's like A or B. 50-50. Like,
Hey.
why would you not do that?
You have nothing to lose.
Do you like money?
Right, that's why I was like, you got nothing to lose. If you want to win some money, you should do this.
And here's what really sold me is that they said their tagline is, even if your team is circling the drain, you can still win money. I want to know, if I'm going to lose, am I still going to get something?
A little
well,
bit.
at DraftKings, you guys can. So we have a super cool code for you guys. It's GEEK, just like our show, Geek Nerd Tech. So you guys will type in the word GEEK, and you guys can play for free for your share of over $100,000 in total prizes. This weekend, only at DraftKings.com. Eligibility restrictions may apply. See sites for details.
That's really good,
right.
Jesse. I like that.
I like
Boom.
that.
I'm playing. I'm playing right after the
Play
show
some
today.
football. I'm gonna start back watching football and all
Now,
kind of stuff.
but what's this tea? Because I've been wanting to know about the Prince Harry thing since you told me about Prince Harry over the weekend.
Okay,
Oh, that's a
so
lot of tea.
I apologize ahead of time, guys. I have a cough drop in because I'm still getting rid of this nasty throat that I have. But this week, Prince Harry made it official to all of us that might have still been questioned, even though I wasn't still questioned. I was just real mad that he done found this other girl that he want to get with because he was supposed to be my baby daddy, but that's okay. He has found love in Miss Meghan Markle, who is an actress who is on Suits on USA, I think it comes on.
Yep, USA Network.
She's been on there for a while, actually.
She has.
So this week, though, because, the story kind of came out, last week, about a week and a half ago, and the story started circulating, but... So everybody's like, ooh, who's this girl and who we want to know about her? And apparently the press has been in full attack mode, especially in England, y'all. So they have been coming at her house. They said people were being paid to break into her house because she lives in Toronto where she tapes Suits. They were, following her everywhere. They following her mama. Her mama lived in Crenshaw. I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh about it. It's your fault.
You almost choked. You almost choked on that.
No,
I was gonna get through it, and Rachel messed me up. I'm just trying to suck on my little lozenge so that my throat stays straight for this story, and Rachel messing it up, okay? Anyway, so, her mama still lives in Crenshaw, and, the people was all outside her door. She can't get in her door. They trying to find her daddy who in Mexico somewhere because he filed for bankruptcy and moved away. She got a sister that don't have no money and is off somewhere. They trying to find her, and they've been posting all these stories in England that are sort of, they have some racial undertones because, England going through its own racial situation too. Y'all remember Brexit? If y'all don't know nothing about that, they going through it too, just like we are right now. So anyway, Prince Harry got wind. He saw some of these headlines, and he was just like, why y'all gotta come for my baby boo like that? It's just not okay. So he decided to do something that's very rare, that very rarely happens from the royal family, and he issued a royal statement.
Yes, he did.
He issued a royal statement. It came from Kensington Palace, and basically, he said a few different things, but I'll give you some of the more precious moments in the statement. Basically, he said, quote, "This past week has seen a line crossed." He went on to accuse the press of social media trolls, of sexism and racial abuse to his girl. And it said, quote, "Prince Harry is worried about Miss Markle's safety and is deeply disappointed that he has not been able to protect her." First of all, everybody take a moment. He wants to protect her.
He wants to protect his biracial boo.
He wants to protect his baby. And he told the press to pause and reflect before any further damage is done. And apparently the very fact that they issued this statement is such a huge deal because of everything that happened with his mother. Obviously, the press is sort of blamed for her death. And they've only done it a few times over the years since his mother's passing. One time was with the two new babies, baby George and Charlotte, or whatever, I think her name is Charlotte, of his brother's kids, that they were like getting too many pictures. So it basically, everybody tripped out because number one, it confirms that this relationship is real and not just some bullshit that everybody else is coming up with, and that he is serious about her because he wants to protect his boo, guys. So we might have a royal wedding soon.
I do think it's great that he put out that statement.
I do too.
Whether or not they last, I could care less about. But Courtney, I kind of get your thing. I saw a few articles on him, and I was like, damn, if he isn't kind of fine in some of these pictures, like he was really cute.
I'm not gonna lie, this might be a little bit racist, but when I decided that he was, it might be a little racist. I'm gonna give you that caveat. But I fell in love when he was in Africa holding one of these little African babies.
You saw him holding a brown baby.
Well, listen.
And he had on this little safari-looking outfit. I was like, oh my god.
He's so crazy.
That was like
Was he wearing
6
like a
years ago.
kente
crazy.
cloth and everything?
No,
was he like, oh?
It was just the tenderness by which he held that little baby, and I don't know, whatever.
Well, listen, he may have his own little chocolate babies because she is biracial.
Well, they're not going to be chocolate.
They're definitely not going to be chocolate.
Listen, you say that, you don't know where the gene comes
Yeah,
from. You never know.
we've seen her daddy and her mom. They're gonna be a little.
Yeah, them red jeans be real strong.
Her brown jeans will be strong, but it'll be like a little red-headed. Like,
Yeah, no, that's gonna look like a white baby. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, also, do you know the theory that they say like some red hair? I don't know if it's true or not, but like red hair in white people comes from mixing with Africans back in the day.
Yeah.
Because when you dye, my hair turns that color,
Yeah.
unless you do it right.
Unless you do it perfect.
Well, listen, Megan is fine, so you know. And you went to school with her, right?
I did.
Oh, you
I went
did?
to school with her. She went to Northwestern. She was there when I was there, so
Could have had a chance.
I could have had a chance, man. Dang. That's okay.
But it's also nice to see that they would issue that kind of statement for, because the other women, while they were commoners, they were earls or this or that. They weren't really commoners.
Right.
Like Princess Diana's family is actually more royal than the Windsors because they came into power fairly recently in England. So this girl is not any
She
royal,
is,
and the fact that they would issue that on her, I thought kudos to you.
And he's throwing her around. She's been all up in
And he
the
called
family
them
and
out
everything.
for the racism because they had some headlines talking about Harry's girl is straight out of Compton. Like they were on the Daily Mail and stuff like that.
Yeah, they did that.
Yeah,
Her family's been selling some stuff, like the sister. And everybody's selling some stories.
Her
so good
family
luck
probably
with
trying to
that.
make. She gonna have a mess with her family if she ends up marrying him. But girl, I'm here for it. Go ahead,
She got
lock that down.
Wait, you gave her the fist pump,
You
though.
got it, girl.
I wish the best for them. And also these stories about her, like the sister sister saying, well, my mom's broken, she's not supporting her. One thing I know from working on a show like that, if you supported everyone in your family, you would be brokety broke.
Exactly.
You would have nothing.
Yeah.
So that's a personal matter, and I try not to judge her on that until you know the whole circumstance.
You don't know what's going on. Mama teaching yoga, she'll be all right. All right. So we're going to move on real quick, and we're going to talk about Lil Wayne again. Did we talk about him last week, or was that a different show I was on? I don't remember. Anyway, Lil Wayne.
I don't think we talked about
He
that.
made some nonsense comments again to Nightline last week, I believe it was, and basically they asked him about Black Lives Matter, and he was quoted as saying, I don't feel connected to a damn thing. That ain't got nothing to do with me. And if you do, you feel crazy. Lil Wayne was high again. He was probably also drunk, and at the same time, he also like issued a statement afterwards saying that like the only reason he went off like that, because if y'all watch the interview, he looked real crazy. Like, he looked real crazy.
Yeah, he was
He fired his publicist after the interview, but I thought publicist didn't make you
She
say
didn't make you
this.
say shit.
the publicist should have fired him.
Exactly. The publisher never worked for him, but he basically said that the interview was like interviewer asked him like questions about negative words about women and his daughter, and he was pissed off. So when they asked the question about Black Lives Matter, he just said some bullshit. Because that's an excuse. But anyway, so of course his comments like went everywhere, and people were like, Lil Wayne, how could you not understand what black people go through, and why don't you care? Like, just because you're rich, oh my God, because they actually gave credence or care to what Lil Wayne has to say. So then T.I. decided that he should speak up this week about his friend. And he posted a little message on social media, and he said a few different things to Wayne, and the quotes are sort of, here we go a little bit. He goes, quote, I know you are wired, I'm sorry, he talking about his friend, y'all. I know you are wired a bit different than most other responsible adults, but still, you tripping. I don't know what you're going through or what you are attempting to avoid, but this is absolutely unacceptable. You're disrespecting yourself, bringing shame on your family, and tarnishing your legacy. We are being hunted and captured and slaughtered out here daily. You have to get out of that bubble that you've been living in and get out here and educate yourself on what's going on around the U.S. T.I. went on to offer his help to him by saying, share whatever knowledge or understanding. I'm willing to share whatever knowledge and understanding I may have to assist your growth and development. And then he warned Lil Wayne, stop this buffoonery you out here doing. You looking like somebody who has something to gain or lose by pretending it's not as bad as Black Lives Matter is making it seem, and you are not aware of an issue that needs to be addressed. And then Lil Wayne's daughter, Reginae Carter, went on her Instagram and said, basically, T.I. just trying to get some extra press and why he got to come for her daddy like that.
I mean, I just think just T.I., I mean, not T.I., but Lil Wayne, I'm tired of hearing him talk because he just says some crazy stuff every time he's out.
I mean, is Lil Wayne ever lucid and sober? Like, why would we ever care what he has to say?
Why do we even care? Yeah. I mean,
but when I get drunk, which isn't often, or super baked on weed, I'm not like I think racists are great. You know what I mean? I don't turn into that. Like I don't suddenly shift my view
Rachel.
on Yes, Courtney.
Number one, I'm going to say you probably have a few more brain cells than he ever had to start with.
I agree.
You don't drink lean.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I don't drink cough syrup.
And no shade on Wayne, but he was having seizures for a while, and seizures do destroy portions of your brain and like whatever. So like real talk, like I don't think all of his things are there, and then along with the substances, he probably has even less.
I would appreciate the journalists to not put Lil Wayne in that type of predicament.
Well, I think you just know you're gonna get a shit show.
But why was Lil Wayne on Nightline?
Yeah, but
Can somebody talk to me about that?
I mean, there's a whole.
What's going on with those shows like Nightline and 2020? Like those used to be like intense shows, like news shows. When I was a kid, like I would be like, Dad, we gotta watch this again. 60 Minutes. Damn.
Lil Wayne vote
But now it's Lil Wayne on Nightline.
Who did he vote for?
Well, that's why I do hope like I'm hoping it's a watershed moment in our evolution. You know what I mean? Because it's either the fall of Rome that we're in America right now, like it's all over, and that our apex is far behind us.
Well, you know, there was that whole article that came out about how it really is like the fall of Rome.
It is like the fall of...
can be completely destroyed.
Right.
The idea that it can.
We've only been here 300, not even 300. We had our bicentennial. That's only 200 years. We're nothing in the scheme of things.
I ain't going backwards. I don't know about it.
But no, I'm hoping it's a watershed moment that moves us forward because I do think we've reached reached a pitch saturation point with like reality TV, and clearly if we could elect a president off reality TV.
Nene Leakes 2000. I'm just kidding.
She by Sheree gonna be in office. All right, Courtney, is that all you got for us with the T.I. and Lil Wayne story?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done for the day.
All right, well, we got our last story of the day and the EUR Web Story Spotlight of the Week.
EUR Web Story Spotlight of the Week.
Well, this has been a story that is making its headlines this week outside of the election. Is a woman by the name of Shonda Brown White. She's an author. She has a new book called Don't Be a Wife to Your Boyfriend. Very interesting title. Can you guys guess where you have an idea what this book might be
I think
about?
she doesn't want you to be a wife to your boyfriend.
Okay, well that's great. All right, so this is the goal of her book. Her new book is to guide readers on a journey to self-discovery and show others that every relationship failure can offer a moment of truth and clarity. Now, this book is not intended to be a male-bashing book. She said men can learn how certain actions that they do affect a woman's heart and her soul.
Oh, so it's for men?
It's for women, but she's saying that men can also read it because it's not a male-bashing book. And that
I don't think that's a man. I bet you. Have you read it?
No, I've not read it yet. I want to read it, though.
The title doesn't even sound male bashing.
No.
It sounds like she's watching a lot of reality television and realizing that a lot of these girls out here put themselves in situations. I just watched this crazy. I'm gonna get it for next week. Oh my god! And it was just like me and my roommates. We sat there. We watched. And we were just like. It was good, but this is really
What show?
What was it?
I can't remember the name. It's on Netflix. I'll tweet it out tonight.
What is it
But
about?
basically, so it's this little girl who grew up, this Hispanic girl, she grew up, and she just was so attracted to this man. And it was just based off attraction. And she wanted to be the cool girl, and he was this gangster. And it was just like you watched it, and it's literally what we watch on reality TV. And she ended up getting this kid set up and stabbed and killed. And it was just like, these girls have people, I'm not going to just say girls, people have such low self-esteem right now because we put this imagery on television of what everyone's supposed to be.
Right.
That we feel that these people who are on television getting these free meals and free clothes, they don't leave that show and do that in their everyday lives.
No.
They sit at home and they post Instagram pictures of them on set, which makes it look like this is their everyday life. And these kids, they believe it. And then they date people based off this, and they end up getting hurt because they think they have to be this, I don't even know, this enigma of whatever it is that we're putting out there to the world as perfection.
Well, it's interesting because when I first saw the title of the book, what I actually thought of is when they always tell a woman to not give the man everything and then, give him.
Yeah, you're supposed to not
what it's about?
milk the
because then if you
Yeah.
don't milk the cow, or what is the
he ain't
statement?
gonna buy the cow? Why he got to buy the cow if the milk is for free?
For free, yeah. So that's what my mindset was thinking with this book. But it sounds like it's a combination of things. It's her realistically trying to educate women on, healing of relationships, what to do and what not to do. But I thought it was an interesting thing that she said that men can also read it.
Yeah, well, I'm going to give a shout out to another college buddy of mine, Tori Stuckey, who wrote a similar sort of book looking at relationships, especially amongst us black folks and our black women and black men. And it's called His Dough, Her Cookie. And it sort of looks at a similar idea of like where women sort of fit in and what he thinks women are doing or not doing versus what men are doing or not doing, especially in black love relationships and what we could be doing better. And that's on Amazon too. And it might be an interesting companion to see what they have to say.
I'll throw out one more just because it's a little different. Was the best book I read on relationships was called Attached, The Science of Attaching. And this is less about man-woman than are you a secure person? Did you grow up, you're kind of secure? Or are you maybe aloof, like you're a little distant in relationships? Or are you insecure and codependent? And what happens when two aloof people hook up? Or a secure and an insecure? Or two insecure? So I thought that was really great because there's a lot of people who are a little neurotic in relationships or codependent right away. And this kind of helped broke through some of those things that is a little even deeper than some of these. But this, I assume, is about, like you said, not moving
doing
in
too
with them.
I feel like it's learning from your mistakes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Your-
Learning from mistakes.
Nice.
And, listen, equally on both sides, men do things to women that aren't the best things, and women take a lot of things from men, and vice versa. Women do
We
things
should
to
get
men
her
too.
on here
We
if
should.
we
Shonda,
can.
we're gonna call
Yeah.
you.
I
Shonda,
think the
we'll call
movie
you.
was called Sugar Rush, and it's a British, based off a British TV
Oh,
show.
the Netflix one?
Yeah, check that out. It's on Netflix. Really cute.
Any or all of these books are kind of helpful, I think, if you're navigating relationships. And you come up against something, because a lot of times, like our parents' marriages, or if they're even still together, are maybe not always the best things to base, ourselves off. And sometimes we do need a book to develop a new skill set to be in a healthy relationship.
Well, one thing Shonda said, which we'll leave in a second, but Shonda said she understands and acknowledges that sometimes women give it their all when they fall in love, even without getting a true commitment in return. So
I think it is a little bit about, So, maybe it'll resonate, like, because sometimes it takes a few different stories to resonate. And if this helps someone out of a situation like that, mazel.
Work it out.
It's positive. All right. Well, that's all we got for today.
We made it.
We made it. They're kicking us out the studio. So, Courtney, where can fans find you?
You can find me everywhere at Stuart Starlet. And if you guys are depressed and need a great laugh, just watch Chewing Gum on Netflix. I'm in love with it right now. It's freaking hilarious.
What's it about?
It's about an awkward black girl in England, in London.
Oh, wow.
It's hilarious. Like, it's the funniest shit I've seen in a long time.
Oh, awesome.
So is Netflix like putting a whole bunch of British
They have. I don't know. Well, they have a lot of British series. I'm also watching the one about the Queen, but Chewing Gum, the awkward black girl.
The Crown?
And I
The Crown,
want to
Everybody's loving The Crown.
Yeah.
When we talked about that last week, I don't think that black British people, and nobody accused me of this, but I don't think black British people don't deal with racism. When I was saying they have a confidence that we don't have, I still stand by that. But of course, they deal with so much racism. But thank you so much
Thank you guys for all those comments and lots of recommendations in the comments.
I'd like to say to the person who commented to me, like, I'm totally working on the interrupting thing. I'm really trying here. And second of all, no, I don't bleach my skin, for Christ's sake.
And Jesse and I will talk more and let Rachel. We'll talk more. We just like to hear Rachel's point sometimes. We get lost in the moment.
No, I babble and I know it, and I'm definitely working on it. I'm really lucky I work with a group of people who are patient with me.
And we like her to express her point all the way
I really
through.
appreciate the patience they've had with me, because I'm the one who came in late to the game on this. But by the way, you can find me on Instagram at TrueRachelTrue and Twitter at RachelTrue.
Jesse?
At DJ Jesse J. Also, make sure you check out me and Derrial did the reality TV awards, and the video is up, and it is just some behind the scenes footage that y'all need to just check out. Sunday Carter versus Abby Lee. That was my favorite.
Oh, wow.
I think Janice Dickinson was my favorite. But I gotta watch
she was
it.
fine.
No. Oh, okay, here we go. On that note, you can find me at Derrial Christon on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and on Sunday nights on the Walking Dead panel for AfterBuzz TV.
Hi.
Everybody have a great weekend.
Bye.
From executives Keven Undergaro, Derrial Christon, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
Hollywood
Redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.